Today, we're going to journey back in time to uncover one of ancient India's most powerful economic secrets. It's a system called the Shreni. So, what exactly was it, and how on earth did it manage to create such a stable and ethical economy centuries ago?
Think about it for a second. A stable economy, fair prices, high-quality products. That sounds like a modern-day puzzle, right? But what if I told you that an ancient system had already figured out a remarkably effective way to do just that?
Well, the answer was the Shreni. At their core, these were highly organized guilds, powerful associations that brought together everyone from merchants to craftsmen to pretty much manage their entire professional world. You can almost think of them as the engine that was powering the ancient Indian economy.
So who were the people inside these incredibly powerful guilds? Let's peel back the layers and take a look at their structure. You see, the Shreni weren't just limited to one single profession, no. They were these sprawling networks that included practically every part of the economy. From the merchants selling the goods to the artisans who actually crafted them, basically, if you were in the same trade, you were very likely in the same guild.
And you've got to understand, this wasn't some informal club. These guilds were highly organized. Each one had a really clear leadership structure. You had the Shrestine, who was the head of the merchants, the Sarthavaha, who commanded those vital trade caravans, and a Pramukha, who acted as the chief officer for all the day-to-day affairs.
But here's where it gets really interesting. The Shreni were so much more than just a professional association. They were true economic powerhouses, doing jobs that today would take several different institutions to manage. To really wrap your head around their influence, it helps to think of them as three things all rolled into one. They were a bank for financing, a court for settling disputes, and a school for training the next generation. Let's break that down.
Okay, first up, they were the ultimate market regulators. The guilds set quality standards, so when you bought something, you knew it was reliable. They established fair prices, which stopped price gouging and exploitation. They even controlled production to keep the market stable. And hey, if two members had a business disagreement, the guild itself would step in and resolve it.
Second, they were the financial backbone of the whole economy. By pooling funds from all their members, they could provide loans to people in need, they could finance massive trade expeditions, and they kept a rainy day fund for emergencies. They were essentially functioning just like our modern cooperative banks, providing the critical capital needed to keep the wheels of commerce turning.
And third, they invested back into people and their communities. They ran apprenticeship programs to train new craftsmen, which made sure that valuable skills were passed down from one generation to the next. But they also looked beyond their own members, funding public works like temples and wells, and showing a really deep sense of social responsibility.
So, you might be wondering, what was the glue that held this entire system together? What was the secret to its long-term success? Well, it all came down to a powerful ethical code.
The guiding principle for everything was dharma, or what we'd call righteous conduct. And this wasn't just a suggestion, it was the moral compass for all business. Sure, profit was important, but it could never, ever come at the expense of honesty, fairness, and a sense of duty to society.
And this philosophy translated directly into daily practice through 5 really key principles. 1. Honesty in every single transaction. 2. Fair pricing, to prevent anyone from getting exploited. 3. A real commitment to quality, selling genuine, durable goods. 4. Absolute respect for contracts. And 5. A core belief in social responsibility, this idea that business must give back to the community. Now, this whole system might seem ancient, but its influence is far from over. In fact, if you look closely, you can see the echoes of the Shreni all around us in the modern world. The parallels are just striking. The Shreni's role as a professional association, that's directly mirrored in today's trade unions and professional associations. Their financial functions, well, they live on in our cooperative banks. Their regulatory power is now handled by institutions like chambers of commerce, and their ethical code of dharma, that is the direct ancestor of what we now call corporate social responsibility, or CSR. You know, the story of the Shreni really proves that economic prosperity doesn't have to be separate from ethical conduct. And it leaves us with a really powerful question for our own time. If an ancient system could so effectively balance profit with purpose, what lessons can our modern economy learn from it today?